Okay, so for the portfolio site, let's take a look. You should have 5 sections. Okay, so I've got section 1. Actually, we'll just look at this in the browser. So 5 sections. Each section should have a different background color from the other sections. They should also be 100% of the width and height. That seems like it's a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that, but they should be 100% of viewport width and height. They should, all the content of your section should be on a 3-column grid. Okay, how you arrange them within that 3-column grid is up to you. All right, but your smallest unit should be 1/3. So your smallest element should take up 1/3 of that content. Okay, you can have elements that take up all 3 of the thirds. You can have elements that take up 2 of the thirds. You can have an element that takes up 1 of the third. So within those constraints, do 5 sections. All right. Okay. Play around with how you have things organized. Move them, switch them back and forth. Maybe you have text here and a small image here, and then text over here, or something like that. You can use real images if you want to. You can just use empty divs with background color and width and height if you also would like to. You can play around the border radius. Maybe you want circles. I don't care. Okay, it's up to you. If you want to get ambitious, figure out how to do triangles. That's hard. It's hard to do responsive triangles. Let's put it that way. Figure it out. Yeah, so play with that. You should have a menu. I don't care where the menu is, but it should be spaced evenly, and it should be inside of a nav. So if you look at mine, it should be an unordered list inside of a nav within your first section. That nav should be a sibling of however you have organized your welcome text. Okay. All right. Okay. Any questions on that before we move on?
Do we need to have our links on the order list?
No, they don't actually have to work.
No. Do they have to be in the list?
Do they have to be in? Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you make it like
Did you not make yours on our list?
that works?
Oh, the way you have your highlighted ones that pop out and stuff? Is that what you're talking about? Or do you do a different one?
So it's somehow.
It's similar. It's not a big deal if they're not in an unordered list. Unordered lists are just convenient organizers for like navigation menus.
Mine's horizontal.
I mean, you can do an unordered list that's horizontal. You're fine.
Okay.
I'm not worried about yours. I'm not worried about yours. Any other questions? No? Okay. All right, so the news grid. Similar kind of setup with a few differences. You're going to have your different sections, but I want you to pick either a 5-column grid or a 6-column grid. Okay? Think about like the New York Times, NY Times, there we go. NY Times. So the New York Times has a 5-column grid for, oh, that is terrible and wonderful all at the same time. I really want to know. I'm curious now how they did it. I mean, I have a feeling I know how. Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. Ooh, they've got some broken scripts. So look, it's one thing. Is it one? Oh, cheaters. Cheaters. They totally cheated with that. Sorry, I'm really curious. Yep, they cheated. They made it a movie. Those cheating bastards. You could totally do that. You could totally do that with CSS and it'd be just fine. God, jerks. Anyway, cheaters. I'm sure it's faster to make the video and just embed it as a video. Anyway, so they have a 5-column grid, but see how much flexibility they have within that grid, how to arrange stuff. This is sort of what I'm looking for. Okay, something very similar. CNN does not have a 5-column grid, so don't go off of CNN. They have a 3-column grid. Oh man, look at this guy. What? They just always pick the best pictures. Find the most flattering photo. Well, they kind of do have. They have this weird. So theirs is a 5-column or 4-column. I'm sorry, but they're not 4 even columns. So they'll have like. They have this main one that looks to be about. I don't know. That's probably like 40%, and then they've got that split evenly, and then they've got the remaining 30-30 over here, right? So it's still they're working with uneven columns. I would like you to keep yours even. What is somebody give me MSNBC? It's notoriously terrible. Ugh. Yeah, don't look at MSNBC for that. I'm not going to sell you my laptop going to Fox News, so what's another news site? NPR. NPR's got kind of a big... I think there's ads over here. They're not showing up. Blue Man Group. They're dealing kind of with thirds. I mean, they have this weird... They have a gutter over here for ads. So I would go off the New York Times. This is a little bit more what I'm looking for. So in order to do that, notice how everything is within this column. There is a content column that everything is inside of. Nothing breaks it. Okay? That's what you need to set up. So you'll have your body element, and then the very next thing is that content column. That's that next element. Everything else exists inside of that. I've already set mine to be pretty big, but like theirs is probably like 75%. Right? And then everything is inside of that. So then they're going to have essentially 5 columns inside of that, and how they decide to break up those columns is kind of up to them. And really, it's up to you, like how you want to show things. The way that this stuff is all stacked on top of each other makes me think that like this is probably a group, or at least this is a group. And you can find out. I mean, if you go and inspect it, just to get a sense of how they've organized it, don't even look at their HTML, because it's gonna be nuts. Because they blocked it. Those jerks. Yeah, they've got it blocked so you can't actually see it. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, they don't. It's right there. What am I talking about? It's like I've never seen that. Yeah, don't even try to read it over here. Just grab your targeter and sort of mouse over areas. Yeah, okay, see how that's a group? And then it's individual things within that group. There might be another meta group. There's got to be a group in between those two. Can't just be a list. It might just be a list, and then they've got it flex wrapped or something. Election 2016, that's a group. You can kind of mouse over and try to find those edges to see. Yeah, so that's a group. That's a group, right? So they've got, in their line of HTML, they've got those 2 groups set up. Let's see if we can find where it ends again. If I can grab it. There we go. Section AB column. So this is our AB column. And then, so that's their C column. So I mean, you can really pick apart kind of what their organizational philosophy is, and that's all you're looking at is the way that they think about organizing the page. All right, that's what I want you to use as a basis. So if we're doing this, you're going to have your 5 columns. You just need to decide. So you know that your minimum or the smallest you can make anything is 25% or 20% of the viewport width. Okay. It's the smallest you can make anything. Everything else should be increments of that, right? So 20% is 1 column, 40 is 2, 60 is 3, etc. Okay. So say I have 2 divs in here. So this is div, class. We'll just use their same structure, A, B, column, right? So So this is my AB column, so that's a combination of 2, and then we'll go div class C column. Right? Now over here, what I'm going to do is set these up as AB column. This is going to be width 60%. Yep, 60%. And then my C column would then be what? What would my C column be? Yeah, 40. Yep. Why is it 40?
100 minus 60.
Huh?
100 minus 60.
Yeah. Because you're talking about 100% of the content column. Right? Because it's...
It just makes sense.
Did it? Did it just click? Good.
I was
Awesome.
like, how do
I
you-
get excited when things like click for people. Sorry. That was probably a little more aggressive than I meant it to be. Did it really click? Yes. All right. Don't forget to link your CSS, of course. I can't stop freaking out. I freak out all the time.
Sorry, you don't
No, that's cool. So yeah, so does that kind of seem clear? Right? Your columns need to be based off that 20%. All right? They don't have to be 20%, right? But there should be an increment of that, depending on the way you want to show information. Okay? So this is going to be a little different. Instead of having 5 sections, well, we'll talk on Wednesday more about like exactly what I want, but start setting it up a little bit. All right, at least try to get this much done, right? Or be thinking about it. If you need to, sketch on a piece of paper, right? Think about those columns, like draw out a rectangle, divide it into 5 chunks, and then start like playing around with how to drawing elements within those chunks, within those columns. Okay. That's what most designers do at one stage or another. Okay? All right, any questions? Maybe what I'll do is I'll put together a content download file for you guys, like a zip file of everything I want on the page, all the text and all the images. And then you all have to arrange them yourselves. Because usually when you're a designer, you're handed the content and you just have to design it. So we'll do that. I'll put a bunch of images together and a bunch of text, and you guys have to figure out how to put it on the page. Sound good? Wednesday. I mean, but it'll be your homework over the weekend. So you start it on Wednesday, and then
Is that for the news thing, or is that for like this too?
no, portfolio is on your own. This is just for the news.
Yeah, what's the portfolio?
The one you're working on right now.
Yeah, and is that due?
It's due when news is due. These are all due together next Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I,
Good? Everybody seem clear?
I have a question.
There's nothing due on Wednesday. No. There is a quiz on Wednesday. Listen up, guys. There is a quiz on Wednesday. There is an honest-to-God, classical, traditional, multiple choice, maybe short answer quiz. All right? It's going to be things like, if I have a parent and it's got 4 children and I want them all to be evenly spaced, what's my CSS? Right? And I'll give you options, or maybe it'll just be short answer. I don't know. We'll find out.
Are you uploading this one too?
Yep.